breakout room.
Okay.
Okay?
I think we're ready. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. It's 6:15, January 12th, open session. Can we have roll call, please, Michelle?
Mr. Lawton,
Here.
Mr. Cologne,
Here.
Mr. Kutu,
Here.
Mrs. Saint-Amand,
Here.
Mr. DiMartino.
Here.
Nice seeing everybody.
Same
We have
here.
a motion to go in executive session according to Rhode Island General Laws 42464 and 42465, subsection A.
I'll make a motion.
Mo, please lead us in the reading of the mission statement.
Sure. The West Warwick Public Schools, in partnership with the entire community, is dedicated to providing all learners with access and opportunity to a challenging, comprehensive education while developing 21st century skills in a safe, personalized learning environment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue, can you lead us into the pledge?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sue.
Motion.
Motion to seal the executive session minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sue, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Superintendent's report.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Well, good evening, everyone. And first, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year. And I hope you and your families are all doing well and remaining in good health through these crazy times of COVID and on top of the winter and everything the winter brings in terms of sickness and illness. So a few updates tonight. The first thing I wanted to address was the budget timeline. It's in your packet, I believe. Michelle passed that along. It's our typical spring budget timeline with the dates voted from the town for public hearings and workshops, and ultimately the town financial meeting and all-day referendum in May. So just to give that, give you the heads up on that, and if there's any adjustments to the dates, we'll pass that along if there's any changes. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was next Tuesday, the 19th, we will be returning to school in person, which means the three models of instructions instruction we've been following since September. In other words, the students that were in person 4 days will return to 4 days. The hybrid students who were in person 2 days and home 2 days will return to that. And the students who are full distance learning students will remain full distance learning students. So we're going to jump back in on Tuesday the 19th. And just as a reminder, we took the time between Thanksgiving and now to go full distance learning because, as expected, after the holidays, Thanksgiving and now Christmas and New Year's, there was a spike in the numbers of positive COVID cases, which we saw in the district. We've seen it in the state, we've seen it in the town of West Warwick, but we also saw it reflected in the district as well. So we're hoping that by next week, those numbers start to flatten out a little bit and we'll jump back in. But what I do want to note is that even though by next week, we hope that spike, just like it did after Thanksgiving, should start to go down, we're still in the thick of it. So we will still have positive COVID cases. I anticipate there may be days where we still have some staffing issues. So it is possible that we may, at any given day or time, still have to move a classroom or two to distance learning for a couple of days, or a school to distance learning for a couple of days. We will do our best to minimize that having to happen. But it is possible that between now and February break, the next 4 weeks, that, when we're really in the middle of the height of these types of flu season type time of year, it's possible that may happen. So I'll send an update out to parents at the end of this week, and I'll be sure to include that message so that people know that we're not out of the woods yet. The numbers will start to come down because that was the trend we saw after Thanksgiving, but it's possible that may still happen. But we all agree that it's really important at this point, socially, emotionally, and academically, that the kids and teachers that have been in person, that we try to get everyone back in as much as we can. And what I really hope is the case is that after February break, then we start to hit March and people start to get outside more. And I hope that, we're just in much better shape as we go through the spring, and as more and more people get vaccinated, that's going to help too. So, we're going to dive back in next week, but I think we're, have this one more hump to get over in terms of the winter. And then, we hope that things really start to improve. So just an update on where we're at in terms of planning and support. So a lot of things, this is a busy time of year anyways, with the budget and planning for next year, scheduling for next year. So our immediate goal for the spring is, our question is always, how do we support kids and families and the staff? But how do we, knowing where we're at this year and the issues we're faced with this year, how do we support the kids that have been unengaged or not engaged enough? How do we help support kids academically in the immediate? So the task force has been focused on that, and we'll continue to develop and design programs, supports for this spring. But we're also started to think about next year. Now, we really don't know what September is going to bring. We all hope that we go back full in person and we resume our regularly scheduled programming. And even at that, we're going to have to really assess our kids to see where they're at, because of the variance in experience this year. So we know we need to start thinking about that this spring. And if for some reason, COVID's not under control enough, or the vaccine hasn't rolled out enough, and we have to go back in September in some sort of model like we're following now, we'll be ready for that too. But all of that we're starting to think about now, so that, unfortunately, we all know what happened last summer. The state left us hanging a little bit to the last minute, and we really need to avoid that this year for everybody's sake. So we've already started those conversations before Christmas. So that's the heart of our work for the rest of this spring. So I just wanted to let you know that's where we're at. But our immediate goal and work is to really re-engage kids that aren't engaged, or to better engage kids that are somewhat engaged, and to make sure everyone's having the best experience they can. These are hard times. Nobody's going to deny that still, even though we're rolling along here. But we know there's an awful lot of need out there. So we continue to constantly analyze where kids are at, where families are at, where the staff is at, what the staff needs to support the needs of the kids and families. So I just wanted to give you that brief update. And I just continue every month at our meetings to fill you in on where we're at. That's it.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
All right. Number 12, discussion approval of the consent agenda. A, open session minutes from December 8th, 2020. B, executive session minutes from December 8th, 2020. C, the payment of bills of $1,142,831.46. And D, home instruction plans.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Sue, second by Rainey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Financial update. Joe, I think you're with us.
I
There
am.
he is.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
How are you? Quick update. As of December 31st, 2020, we've utilized 37.6% of our amended budget. The report is attached, and I have no red flags out in the report as yet, unless you have some questions for me. But I did want to update on the state aid for fiscal 21. We were informed that the previously cut state aid from the beginning of the year will be restored by RIDE, which is great news for us. In February, they'll give us an additional payment to get us caught up through January. Then our monthly state aid funding will fall back in line with what the governor's original request was that was made in January. So that'll put us in a good position towards the end of the year. And as you know, there is no school lunch deficit at the time.
Great
So
job.
unless anybody has any questions, that's all I have.
Yeah, I do have one question, Joe.
Sure.
Do you have a breakdown specific to how we've spent any money for COVID needs?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
great. So
Yep.
it doesn't have to be now because it's not on the agenda, but I'd like to talk to you about that separately.
Sure,
Okay?
absolutely.
Thank you.
You can, Louis, call my office on my cell phone anytime.
Fantastic. We'll call the Queen Bee first.
There you go.
Joe's done a great job. So good news on a few fronts. That's great news about the state aid being restored. If you remember,
Absolutely.
you know, a little less than a year ago, we had a really, really tough decisions to make about balancing our budget. We had an awful lot of layoffs we never liked to do, and we're able to bring everybody back. So Joe has done a tremendous job with the state aid. I mean, the COVID relief aid, because it was very, very restricted, very specific. You know, we had to submit a budget and we're held to that. So Joe's done a really good job. I have to give him a shout out about keeping track of all of the expenses, what was paid locally, what could be paid out of the COVID relief funds. And because of his hard work, you know, again, the kids and families and staff have really benefited. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. 14, discussion approval, budget timeline guidelines.
Okay, I actually just covered this a little bit in my remarks. Just a little, you know, calendar of the proposed dates at this point, no different than any other year. We will need to pick a date at the end of January for the school committee public hearing. We've got the joint meeting with the town that's slated for the 19th at this point, but they'll send more information about that. But somewhere between that date and the first Monday, February, we need to have our public workshop. So maybe we could ask Michelle to poll the school committee members through email. We'll throw out a couple of dates maybe. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Otherwise, you know, we'll have the public workshop, then the public hearing, then the town financial meeting, all day referendum, same schedule.
Great.
So do we need to make a motion for this?
Not
No?
not tonight, I don't think. It's more of an
Okay.
information, Mike, if
Okay.
I'm right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's a January 19th date there.
Yep.
So that's going to happen before we ever make a motion. Is that important? Or is that okay if that date passes by us?
No, that's, well, let me pull it. I'm sorry. I'm, bear with me 1 second, please.
Sure, no problem.
So when is your next meeting? I'm sorry, it's in February, correct?
Yes.
All right, yeah, the next school committee meeting is in February. The
February
town,
That can happen. I mean, that can happen without the approval of the entire timeline. I mean, each step can happen. So that's fine if you want to push it off until next meeting. I'm comfortable with that.
okay.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Number 15, discussion approval, amendment of the school bus transportation service agreement.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that there be a discussion/approval of the amendment of the school bus transportation services agreement. And we have Bill Roche from First Student is with us tonight. If there's any questions or if you wanted to ask him anything. Basically, this is an amendment to address COVID, the times we're in relative to COVID, and basically is our agreement that we will, to the best we can and need their services, we will hold up our end of the bargain in using their services, and they will hold up their end of the bargain by providing services. And I think we're much better. We're in a very different place than we were last spring. Last spring when we were full distance learning, no shot throughout the rest of the year. This year is different where we may be going back and forth. So this agreement, this amendment basically addresses that circumstance where, you know, we'll agree to, you know, use their services to the extent we need them, and they agree to be available for us. In short. Steve, you're muted, I think.
Sorry about that. We making a motion to approve the bus transportation
So
amendment?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great,
Number
thank you. And
16.
I just want to thank Bill and First Student. These aren't easy times for them either, and they've been steadfast in their service to us. And I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that and thank him.
Definitely. Number 16, discussion approval, West Warwick School Committee 2021 annual calendar.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that there be a discussion/approval of the West Warwick School Committee 2021 annual calendar.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion, seconded by Lou. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm fine with it. Good.
Thank you.
Number 17, we have approval maternity leave request. Doing one at a time.
Yes, please.
Special educator, West Warwick High School.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that you approve the request for maternity leave from a special educator at West Warwick High School.
Make a motion.
Motion by Lou,
Second.
Second.
second by Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval science educator, West Warwick High School.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that you approve the maternity leave request from a science educator at West Warwick High School.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Sue,
Second.
second by Rainey. All in favor?
Aye.
Last one, special language pathologist, Maisie E. Quinn School.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that you approve the request for maternity leave from a speech language pathologist at Maisie E. Quinn School.
I'll make a motion to approve the maternity leave.
Motion
Second.
by Sue, seconded by Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have a resignation, acceptance of resignation, part-time clerk, Maisie E. Quinn School.
Members of the school committee, I recommend that you accept the resignation from Sherry Lemery, part-time clerk at Maisie E. Quinn School, effective January 8th, 2021. Sherry's, as noted in her letter, leaving for full-time job elsewhere. She's done a
Make
good
a
job.
Motion by Lou,
Second.
second by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And announcement, we got some new hires?
We do. A few tonight. So the first one I would like to announce is the appointment of Mr. Richard Grenier as our new Dean of Students. So congratulations, Richard.
Hey.
As you
I'm
know,
wondering why he blessed our meeting today.
I almost slipped. I almost gave away the surprise. As you all know, Richard's been a longtime member of the district, English teacher at the high school and sports coach, and just a real staple to the community and the school culture. So as Steve Alves was appointed the assistant principal position, Richard applied. We posted the Dean of Students and Richard applied and interviewed, and we're thrilled he was the recommendation. So congratulations, Richard.
Congratulations, Rich.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next appointment is a long-term substitute grade 2 teacher at Wakefield Hills Elementary School, Brooke Kelly, effective 9/21/20 through 2/12/21. Long-term substitute art teacher at the high school, Sarah McQueston, effective 1/4/21 through 6/25/21. The next one is a proficiency-based ramp-up coordinator at Oregon, which is Gina Richards, effective 1/4/21 through 6/30/21. The next one is proficiency-based ramp-up coordinator for Wakefield Hills. That's William Nero, effective 1/4/21 through 6/30/21. The next is the after-school intervention tutorial program teachers at the high school. We have the social worker is Lynn Pierce. The math teacher is James Owen. Special education teacher is Linda Nicodem. And those are 3 sessions that run from 1/5/21 through 6/4/21. The yearbook advisor at Deering Middle School is Michael Connerth. And the reappointment of athletic coaches as listed contingent upon the sports being played. Richard Grenier, head boys basketball coach. Greg Kordick, assistant boys basketball coach at the high school. Justin Lake, head co-ed ice hockey coach at the high school. Steve Lawton, head girls basketball coach at the high school. Wayne Marsacci, head co-ed indoor track coach at the high school. Jeff Parento, head girls indoor track coach at the high school. Norman Rajat Jr., assistant girls basketball coach at the high school. Samantha Demeza Stewart, assistant girls indoor track coach at the high school. And Avery Williamson, assistant co-ed indoor track coach at the high school.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Audience of citizens. I'm not sure if anybody's filled any paperwork out or texted Jim.
They have not, Steve.
Okay. Sean,
Go on.
Good evening, school committee. Just quickly, I wanted to also, on behalf of the Teachers Alliance and teachers at the high school, congratulate Richard Grenier. That's been a very important role for a long time now, and I'm confident that he'll serve students, families, and the staff well over there. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean.
Steve, your favorite part?
All right. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hey, guys,
Mike,
stay safe.
Thank you, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you, Michael.
Good
Thanks
night,
for help
everyone.
tonight.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, everyone.
Congrats, Richard.
Thanks.